all have these personas. We have these ways of being that are easy for us. And so when I was asked by Christine to give this talk, I started brainstorming, and I'm like, okay, enthusiasm. I know a lot about enthusiasm. I know a lot about leadership. I know a lot about positive psychology. I know about learning optimism. I know all of these great positive things. The thing about positive is it's easy for me. It's easy. So being positive just is that set point where I don't have to be intimate. And because you're my hometown crowd, now I'm going to go my Oprah place. Because you're my hometown crowd and I can tell you a little bit more from my heart, the layer underneath happy can be awkward, can be uncomfortable, can be more vulnerable. And has anyone been following Brene Brown and her work around vulnerability? Is it not crazy good? I really resonate with the going a little bit, just a little bit deeper, and because I can share with you guys these, I think I have another slide. Oh, is that the one? There we are. So here's a picture of this other flip side of happiness, which has a lot of information and guidance in it for me personally. And I'll tell you how this little story about my mom factors into it. Sorry, Mom, I won't ask you up on stage. Originally I was going to, but my mom just had some surgery. So my son made me promise I wouldn't talk about him. Because if you see my Facebook page, you probably know more about my children than what you would ever want to. So Jackson's like, Mom, no. So I'm going to talk about my mom just a little bit. So here's this picture of a person who has some feelings that are more difficult than the feelings you might see me express typically. And I didn't really want to go there, but it has more learning in it. It has more learning and it has more depth in terms of who I am. So this picture is something that we all experience. And I have some tools around how we can use these awkward or uncomfortable feelings to maintain the best kind of guidance for our children, which is not about what we say and what we do and our rules, but it's who we are. And so who I am is that happy person. I'm not saying it isn't, but I'm also that person that has these like awkward, uncomfortable moments. And I don't like to breathe into them and look at them and see what's there because it feels a bit funny. But here's the magic. Once you do that, and let's just for a second think of something maybe that makes us uncomfortable or that we resist, or if you're a mom like me, overwhelm. You ever get overwhelmed and you're like, you feel helpless? So when you take that feeling, and I do yoga, so in yoga, you might be in an uncomfortable position. Like, anyone here do yoga? What's like your worst, most uncomfortable position? Camel. Okay. So camel. So in camel, your heart's exposed. I thought you were gonna do warrior so I could, bust into warrior, but in camel, why is it uncomfortable? So in camel, our heart is open, right? My heart is open and I'm exposed in camel. And some of us, when the first time we did yoga, camel makes us cry because we're opening. And we see all the good and the bad, right? We see all the good and the bad and all the feelings. But the point of this sad slide is that when we finally take a feeling that might be uncomfortable, and in yoga, when you have that discomfort, but you breathe into it, what happens? Anybody? What happens when we're with a feeling? I'm doing it now. I'm just breathing into it. So when I have an awkward feeling, it starts to settle down. So when I resist it, or when I think it's, uncomfortable to look at, or it might be creepy, or I might be ashamed of it, as I stop resisting it, it settles down. So this is an excellent tool to maintain an unwavering mental attitude without faking happiness. So instead of faking or forcing happiness, we can just settle into our feelings and include all of it, because there are gems in the sadness, and the discomfort, and the overwhelm. I know I didn't do it good enough, and I wasn't there for my kid when they needed me, and I didn't fix it. And all of that is brilliant. So here's the story of my mom, and I'm gonna bring this in. Okay, next slide. She's got my back. So here we have this song, This Little Light of Mine. All right? And I didn't tell my mom I was going to say this, because if I did, she would have told me not to. So, sorry, Mom. So I walked into my parents' place a couple of weeks ago, and my mom was telling me this story about an on-camera job that she was doing. And it's really cool, because my mom is really inspiring, and she's doing all these things in her, not her later years, because you know, you're so youthful, but you're busting out. You're modeling, you're doing commercials, you're acting, you were in that fashion show recently. Like, my mom is just, you know, it's so cool. So I wanted to bring in this awkwardness that I felt when she was telling me this story and being so brilliant, because you were telling the story, Mom, and you were saying, yeah, so I was looking in the mirror and I was on camera, and the director had me do it again. And it was this woman that throughout her life connected with her spirit by going inward and singing this song, looking in the mirror. So my mom was portraying this woman looking in the mirror, singing, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And she's looking in the mirror, kind of championing herself. And it was really kind of intimate and powerful. And it sort of brought up a like, oh gosh, what about my light? Like, I just had a funny reaction to it. So I was so in inspiration about my mom, but I get brought up a funny feeling. So I'm going to bring Monica up on stage to do a little rendition, a little rap version, because this is Play and Shine. And I just wanted to sing with you guys because this song and my mom embracing her light and all of us embracing our light is fun. So we're going to sing This Little Light of Mine. So from the middle of this group over, we are This Little Light of Mine. And you guys, halfway through and over, I'm going to let it shine. So this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So you guys are with Monica, and we're over here. Okay, so we're going to do it playfully.
That's kind of
and I think we all know it.
We're outnumbered a bit here.
Yes. So you guys have to be stronger. Okay, 1, 2, 3. This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine.
this little light of mine. This one's for my mom.
I'm gonna let it shine.
Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And so to conclude, your light is shining whether you're awkward, uncomfortable, you don't know what to do, or whether you're happy, and just include all of that in being a mom and being a leader in your world. Thank you.